Hey, everybody. It's Ellen from Crazy for You. Oh, my goodness. Caught me a little late today. I went upstairs to put in my contacts, and here's my dog in my lap. Anyway, good evening. It's nice to see you. Everything feels so last minute right now. Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to tell. Oh, my God. I'm just going to take a break here. Hey, Gwen, how are you? So, yeah, I'm really glad that you're here tonight because we're going to be looking at the Rowan Magazine. I had a lovely customer, Tyrell, call me today and say that she had was interested in one of the garments from the magazine. I guess we had sort of gone through it really quickly with Trish Malcolm when she was on the show the other day. But she said she had to go to YouTube to find a review of the book. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? We have been through it like several times sort of with Trisha, but I didn't ever really, do it myself. So I felt bad. And I thought, well, let's go ahead and do the kind of thing that I normally do with a pattern collection. So we'll look at the patterns and we'll talk about what yarn they're done in and the gauge and all that stuff. So, oh my goodness. Yes, my dog is here and he is just a human in a dog suit. He's like a Muppet. He really is a mess, but he's very, very sweet. And he's here, a ball of love in my lap. So if you hear the panting, that's what that's about. So, hey, Gwen. Hey, Chal. Oh my goodness. So nice to see you. Terry, Paula, Norma. Oh my goodness. You guys are just awesome. So has anybody already bought the book? I know a lot of you have seen it or have gotten it in the online at different times. So has anybody gotten the book and already had a chance to look at it? Oh, stars. I'm not normally this behind. Anyway, I think it's a really great collection. And I was looking at the fact that there are 40 different designs in this collection. So we have a half-hour show, and we're probably not going to be able to get through all of them. But they're Malcolm, you're really distracting me, honey. It's time for you to go, okay? Go lie down. Go lie down, okay? Go lie down. Yeah, I know, I love it. Go lie down. It's like a fifth child, I swear. It has two. Let me show you the magazine if you haven't already seen it. So here it is. It's just a beautiful, beautiful collection. And as always, the Rowan Magazine looks more like, you can't see this, looks more like a fashion magazine, than it does a collection of patterns. And they do that on purpose because it's just so appealing, to open up a book like that and just sort of, it's very aspirational and inspirational, I think. Polly, you're so cute. Thank you. She's here and let me put this out there. Oh, my stars. Well, this is not the one to come to because I'm obviously a mess. Hey, Eveline. Anyway, so the pattern collection is beautiful. And there are two completely different stories in it. And when I first started with Rowan some number of years ago, I wasn't that clear on what they meant by the pattern stories. But within the pattern, the magazine, they have like several different sort of thematic approaches to the line. So in this one, they have their first collection, which is called Nostalgia, which is just a beautiful, oh my goodness, a beautiful kind of it harkens back to I want to say the late 40s, early 50s, early 60s in some of them. The designs have just kind of a retro feel, and the way that they've styled them as well is sort of retro. So let me stop going on and on about it and just sort of show you what I'm talking about. So let me share my screen here and we'll get right to it. All right, so that's not the one. That's the one. Okay. All right. So this first one is called Ronnie. And I think this is really a beautiful piece. Part of the issue sometimes with sweaters is that the things we like to wear are not always the things we like to knit. But this is one of those. It's a beautiful shape, I think. It's a drop shoulder, and it's got this pretty little slit, and you can do it as they've done here in 2 colors, or you can do it in a solid color. See that little slit? I think this is just very, very wearable. But that pattern stitch in it, and if you choose to do the 2 colors especially, they keep it from being boring. So here it is in the 1 color. But again, you have that little pattern stitch that makes it a lot more interesting and fun to knit. So that is Ronnie, and that's worked in Summerlight DK at a gauge of 22 stitches to 4 inches. So I think that's a really pretty one. The next one, Anastasia, is knit. This is a very, what is this? And I didn't write this down. I guess we'll skip that. We'll come back to that, all right? We have a chance. This one is worked in Rowan 4-ply, and this is a very traditional kind of stranded knit. But I'm just going to tell you right now, this is worked stranded flat, which means you need to knit and purl carrying colors, which is kind of a pain. I think it's really cute, but it's probably, you tell me. So is this something that you guys would knit? I would definitely wear it. I don't know if I would knit it. So tell me in the comments how you feel about that, whether you would be willing to do the stranded flat, right? Do you know what I mean? So you're knitting with 2 colors and carrying the colors, and then you're purling with 2 colors and carrying the 2 colors. So I think that's pretty, but like I said, it's probably not one that I would make. I love you, Martin, but yeah. All right, this next one is Humphrey. This one is obviously a guy sweater. This is worked in Summerlight DK. You can see the whole retro thing. I think the way that they have styled it is so incredibly 50s. I think it's really cute. And honestly, I would wear that. This is what I like to call a boyfriend sweater. If my guy had this, I would definitely steal it. Right? Yeah, so I'm I'm hearing from, okay, Paula says yikes. Gwen says no. Arlene will not. Zosha, hate pearl. Okay, all right. Well, I think the jury's in on that. Probably not anybody going to be making that one. But what about this one? This is one, again, that is fun to knit because it has pattern stitch. It's got a lot going on. Even though it's a big sweater, I think it would be a fun knit, and I would definitely want to wear that. And I might even knit it for my guy just so that I could steal it. I've never knit anything for my husband. Isn't that horrible? I told him he wasn't knit worthy. It's not that I don't love him or anything, but I don't think he would really appreciate a hand knit sweater the way I would expect someone to knit a hand knit sweater. Yes, Ralph Lauren. This is a very Ralph Lauren look. I think a lot of these kind of are. Yeah. So, all right, what's next? Okay. All right, this is Joan, and this is by Arne and Carlos, and I love Arne and Carlos. They are wonderful, happy, clever, creative couple from Norway, and they're funny, and they do all the Christmas balls. But I'm going to tell you, people, this is worked in fine lace on a 0. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm probably not going to make it. If somebody gave it to me, I would definitely wear it. But yeah, I'm just not. Why is that? You know, I don't mind knitting fine things. Tell me about you. Would you knit this? You know? So again, with the nostalgia, there when we used to when you look back at vintage knitting patterns, it was nothing to see something knitted on a size 0, at 30 stitches to 4 inches. No sweat at all. But I think maybe I'm just spoiled. Anyway, so this is Joan. Kathy, on the other hand, is absolutely lovely. In fact, I have a customer, Amy, many of you know, bought the yarn to make this, and she is already about 4 inches in, and she loves it, and she says that it is super easy to do. This is a raglan sweater worked in pieces, and it is worked with the Summerlight 4-ply in 2 colors. This is just such a clever kind of plaid effect. So again, fun to knit and I think fun to wear. What else we got? Maggie. Okay, another Arn & Carlos. As you can see, this is 39 stitches over 4 inches. Really very beautiful. Very beautiful in the fine lace on a, what did I say this one is? Hang on just a second. Yeah, this one is Maggie. Fine lace on a US 0. Beautiful, beautiful, right? Have you ever knit? Tell me in the comments, what's the smallest size needle you've ever used to knit a sweater? I would be interested. Isn't that a pretty one? Yeah, that's so lovely, Jamie. Yeah, very pretty neckline. I like that one too. He has this, or they have this same kind of motif in one of the sweaters you'll see later on. Very pretty. All right, what is next? Okay, I love this one. Tell me if you like this one. This one is Madeline, and this is worked in Kid Silk Haze, which is very small, but it's worked with 2 strands. So it ends up not being that tiny, you can it's definitely doable. Do you know what I mean? And then the other thing that I think is really interesting is down here, it's stranded, but here where you have this little column of extra stitches, that's done in duplicate stitch. So I don't know. Are you there? Yeah. Okay. Something happened to my phone. Hang on. You probably can't hear me, right? Okay, so you can't see me, but all right, that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead because basically I'm not sure what happened, but as long as you can hear me, you can you can get the point. Okay, so I like this one. Like I said, this is 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze, and then this portion is done in duplicate stitch. I guess what's happening is I'm hearing myself through the audio. Okay, what is next? Okay, this is worked in Summerlight DK. This is called Vivian, And this is pretty. Now, if you are a Kristen Ten Dyke fan, then you know that she does things in the round. So if you are an in the round knitter, this is definitely one for you. It's worked in ribbing, like I said, in the Summerlight DK, which is very, very pretty. I like this sweater a lot. Even though I'm not an in the round girl, I think she's done a really nice job on it. Very pretty. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Now let's figure out how to get this back. Whoops. That's not good. All right. Okay, can you hear me now? All right, that's better. Okay. Oh my goodness. Today is just not my day. All right, I apologize for that. But okay, now you can see both me and the screen. Yay. Happy day. All right. So this one is fun. This is Dolores, and this is by Kay Facet. And this is worked in Kid Silk Haze, but it's worked at a gauge of 18 stitches over 4 inches on US 6 and 8s. So if you look at it in the other, do you see how sheer it is? So this is definitely a very, very sheer fabric. You would want to have something like a cami or something over it. But as far as knitability, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Hey, Antonella, buonasera. Nice to see you. So, yeah, so if you like working with very fine yarns, but you're not really a fan of working on really fine needles, this might be for you. And this is cute because it's charted. And I think this is, the polka dots are a little bit retro, but the shape is very modern. So I like that. Okay. Yeah, definitely wear that for sure. I think that's cute. What else we got? Okay, Phyllis. This is cute. This is a great big, I sort of see this somewhere kind of in the New England area or maybe Canada. This is in hand knit cotton and full of cables, but this would definitely be kind of a warm day, cool night kind of sweater, you know, where you're okay with long sleeves and cables, because here in Maryland, mid-August, this is not going to be a go. But I love this shape, and I think this would be beautiful for evenings at the beach, or if you're out in the country and it tends to get cool at night. I think that's really nice. Hand knit cotton is lovely, worked at a gauge of 20 stitches over 4 inches. So definitely doable, wearable, and fun to knit. Melissa, okay, this is also an Arna Carlos, and this is worked in a fingering weight yarn, the Summerlight 4-ply. It's very Arna Carlos, you know, with their intarsia motif here. Very pretty, in keeping with that, you know, the color palette and everything for the season. It's kind of a a riff on the cover design that was worked in the zeros. This one I think is worked on like 4s and 5s, but very pretty. Do you like this one? It doesn't have a motif in the back, but if you wanted to do just a plain little slightly cropped sweater, do you notice how the sweater length is definitely coming up? And I think that has to do with the waistlines of our trousers coming up. So we have high-waisted pants now, none of these, 2-inch zippers in our pants. But this is a nice garment that is definitely wearable. There's my dog again. Boy. Oh, my stars. Okay. Again, this one is worked in 1s and 3s in fine lace. A lovely, lovely, elegant sweater. They give you a warning in the pattern. But it's got a lot of negative ease. So the smallest size has about 10 inches of negative ease, and the largest size has about 8 inches of negative ease. And by negative ease, I mean that the garment is smaller than your body. Okay, so for the smallest size, if you're a 34 bust, the garment is a 24. So it's definitely intended to stretch over you. And you can see that in the sleeve line. It's a very, very slim line. I think it's a beautiful sweater. Again, very fine needles, but it does have this gorgeous, I'm going to share this with you if I can. I can't, but it has this gorgeous beading right here at the join. So it's a beautiful, if you kind of an heirloom sort of piece, with a very pretty. All right. Oh, thank you, Antonella. Did I ever tell you that we had a wonderful foreign exchange student from Milan? His name was Tommaso. And I had a real hard time with my Italian. And he said, stop saying it, Miss Allen. You have to, it all goes together. And oh my goodness, I just love to listen to him talk. So I don't think I ever really got past, buonasera and, è un piacere. But I do love Italian. I think it's such a beautiful language. If I ever get to Italy, Antonella, you will have to teach me more Italian. Beautiful things like, piccolo vino or something. Okay. This is a fun one. This is Deanna, and this is worked with 2 strands of Summerlight DK plus Kid Silk Haze, which, as you know, any cotton carried with the Kid Silk Haze is just an absolutely stunning fabric. And it's not so fine that you can't knit it. So it's like on a 6, I think, Deanna. Yeah, so beautiful. And then what makes this special is this embroidery on the sleeves. This is done, obviously, after it's knit. It's a very simple embroidery. Who has done embroidery? Who remembers this? Anybody remember embroidering on your jeans in the 70s? I certainly did. But this is just different and I think really special. And I think that embroidery on there is something that we're going to see more and more going forward. Yeah, I like that. And, you could use whatever little bits of this and that. They have done it in Kid Silk Haze, but you wouldn't have to use Kid Silk Haze. You could use any little bit of sock yarn or any lace weight that you have lying around. That's a good thing. This is why we keep all of our little oddments of this and that yarn that we've done, because you never know when you might want to do a little embroidery on something. So, yeah. So Gwen has done embroidery, Arlene, Eveline. Yeah, I don't think it's anything to kind of be afraid of. And it gives it a little bit of a casual flair. Oh, Giles, you did on some mittens. That would be cute, wouldn't it? Yeah. And I think mittens are such a fun little kind of low stakes project. You can definitely do some practice on that. All right. Now, this is called Caroline, and this one is worked with 2 strands of hand knit cotton held double. So this is a very bulky, sweater for summer. And if that is your groove, then you would definitely love this. I think it has a great shape. I personally am going to find that heavy for me. I would be interested in your thoughts. But isn't that color beautiful? That's color Rosso or Rosso. Yeah, I think that's an Italian name. Is it Rosso or Rosso? You have to tell me. Okay, and this is Clayton, again, with the, the 50s vibe. He's got his little flat top going on. I think that's really cute. Again, this is something that I would knit for my man and steal on purpose. Very cute. Yeah, that red was beautiful, isn't it? Oh, my. So Rosso, is that with a long O like Rosso or with a short O like Rosso? To tell me in the comments. So what did I say? This is Clayton, and this is, again, worked in hand knit cotton. So this would be very comfortable to wear. For me, this would be a four-season garment. You could knit that in, kind of a neutral tone and wear that all year round. I love a cotton sweater all year round. Dorothy, Summerlight 4-ply. Very sweet, very retro, kind of Audrey Hepburn look here. They have her in this lovely glass house, just beautiful. The thing I like about Dorothy is that it doesn't have a separate sleeve. It's all in one. So you're just working up the body and then you're increasing under the arm, and that's easy. So Jana is loving that Clayton. Yes. Would you knit it for your man or would you just knit it for yourself? It's a gift, honey. I bought this yarn for you. So I like this one. Again, this is in the Summerlight 4-ply. So that's going to be a fine needle, but it's not going to be an, oh my gosh, kill me needle, right? Yeah. So as we're going through these, I think it's really sort of interesting to think about which of these designs are kind of your style. We've been talking about it a lot in the shop, about personal style and how do you know if a sweater is going to look good on you. And, obviously there are questions about whether it's going to fit you. But I think the biggest question is not whether the sweater is going to fit you, but whether it's going to suit you. Is it going to suit the things you like to wear and the way you like to look? So I love how many of you have, commented, oh, I love that, but it's not my style. Or I love that, I would definitely wear that. So I think that's one of the things that I like to talk about and I like to think about and we'll be doing a lot of work on is, finding out what your personal style is based on what you choose to wear and making sure that you're knitting things that are in keeping with what you like to wear rather than just what you like to knit, so that at the end of it, you have something that's really flattering on you and really kind of fits into your life and the way you kind of want to look. Does that make sense? Anyway, I guess I bring this up because although this is a sweet sweater and I would be tempted to knit it, it's everything I would never wear. I don't look good in round necks and I don't look good in that sleeve length. So if I would knit it, it would be a major fail because it wouldn't suit me at all. But I know that there are other people that would look fabulous in this and just so, so cute. Okay, on the other end of the spectrum is this one, Dottie, which I love in every single conceivable way. I think this is just beautiful. This is a classically constructed sweater with a slightly wider than normal neck. It's got set-in sleeves and this pretty little lace panel and a 3/4 sleeve. So, and this is knit in cotton glacé, which is a really, really nice, very sturdy yarn. It's 100% cotton, mercerized cotton, and it has a very tight twist, which means that it's probably harder than most of the cottons you're used to, but it wears like iron. So you could knit this sweater and you could wear it for the rest of your life and it would never look worn at all. So that is a beautiful sweater, in my humble opinion, if that is something that would suit your style. But I think it's very pretty and very, very kind of lady look without looking fussy or prissy. Do you know what I mean? I like it. And that lace is it's charted in the book, so it's easy enough to do. This, again, very retro. This is Clyde, and this is also worked in cotton glacé. This to me reminds me of like a bowling sweater, you know, that you would see for a guy in a bowling league. But I love this. I love that V-neck. I might not do the stripes. You could, of course, do it in a solid color if you wanted to, or just, you know, a few colors or a little less contrasty. But I like this a lot. Do you guys like this one? And I can help but looking back here at this this orchid cactus that they have growing in their sun house, their glass house. Isn't that fabulous? Okay, so this guy looks great in that. And again, it's another thing for you to knit, to borrow or steal from your man, or just knit for yourself. Cotton glacé, in case I didn't mention it, is a sport weight. So that's going to be knit somewhere in the 23, 24 range. And this also is interesting. It has a set-in sleeve as well, which you don't typically see in guy sweaters. Here is another one by Arn and Carlos. And you see what I was talking about? This is that motif that they've repeated. You saw this same motif on that little short-sleeved black and white sweater where it appeared kind of at the corner of 4 quadrants. Do you remember that one? So this is kind of an op art look. To me, this is more 60s than, more 60s than 50s, but cute. Also worked in cotton glacé. I find this is really kind of unisex with that fun thing in the front and then just stripes in the back. And of course, if you just wanted to do the stripes, you could just do the stripes. All right. Okay, now here we have what I will call the pièce de résistance, which is a little bolero worked in fine lace on US zeros at a gauge of 39 stitches over 4 inches. And I think it's beautiful. Yeah. All right, Jenna, tell me which one is the one you love, because there's a little bit of lag here. I don't see your comments until usually after I've moved on. So do you like Cody or do you like Aurora? I'm kind of guessing it's Cody. Not the bows. Yeah. Okay. Well, the bows are beautiful. And, you know, the reason you can see that they're bows is because it's at that fine gauge. You know, if you were knitting this at 4 stitches to the inch, you couldn't have that kind of a motif. There simply wouldn't be enough stitches to give you the, you'd have too much granularity. It would be pixelated, for lack of a better word, because you know, the stitches themselves would be so large relative to the motif. So you couldn't have this tiny, dainty motif on there. But I do think it's very, very pretty that, oh, it's lovely over that little dress. That is a timeless look, you know, timeless look. Again, one of those we would wear if someone gave us, but probably wouldn't knit. But it is beautiful. Yes, indeed. All right, what else we got? Okay, this is Barbara, and this is beautiful. This is knit in Summer Light 4-ply at a gauge of 28 stitches over 4 inches for the body, but it's just a big rectangle. You see this super exaggerated drop sleeve? This is just a huge rectangle, and the sleeve comes all the way down here. And then the bell is picked up and worked in 2 strands, one of fine lace and one of kid silk haze. So this is a really pretty, very feminine sweater. Another one that maybe is a little bit more 60s than 50s, but still just beautiful. I can see that worked in, you know, shades of pink or whatever. Of course I can. But very pretty. So you're playing on this super drop sleeve, which is a very modern look, but those bell sleeves are they retro or not? Are they maybe still modern? Anyway, I like this sweater a lot. One of our customers, Tara, is making this, and I think it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see it. And she's such a fast knitter. You know, it will be soon. Here it is in the back. Just beautiful. I do want you to notice that when you have a very, very oversized drop sleeve, look what happens at this side. So you simply have to be aware that that drop sleeve is going to give you this little bit of a droop at this side. You could counteract that a little bit if you left that side seam open so it would crisscross, but just be aware that that's a thing that happens when you have a very exaggerated drop shoulder. Do we like this one? That one is Barbara. Yes? Yes, Barbara. All right. And Lynn, this is by Martin Story. This is, we're probably not going to get into these. I think I'll do a separate section on that. Yeah. So that is nostalgia. So you can see that the garments are harken back to a time when women, face it, had more time to sit and knit, and very, very fine sweaters on size 0 needles were not a big deal. You know, we did that. We're busier now, and we don't necessarily have that much time to put into a sweater. Maybe we do. I don't know. But very fine needles, much more fitted garments, and things that just feel a little more ladylike, like the very buttoned up sweaters and the sweet little collars. I mean, it is reminiscent. It is very vintage, very sweet. And I would be interested in hearing what you think about that kind of theme generally. I did want to tell you that the second half of the book is completely different. It is all by Martin Story, and it's all in Softyak DK. And I may go through that at a later time, but we brought in all the colors of Softyak DK because after I knit the Keisha sweater for the My First Sweater class, that's an online class, I fell in love with that yarn. It's one of my favorite yarns of all time because it's a cotton that knits like a wool. It's really bouncy. It's very smooth. It's very soft, and it wears well. So the whole second half of the book is in Softyak DK, and they're beautiful classic Martin Story style sweaters. There's several cardigans and some pullovers with cables and really, really, really pretty things. So yeah, so two very different stories in the same book. And sometimes you feel like a ladylike little sweater, and sometimes you feel like a cozy cotton cabled cardigan, so I think it's nice that they're both there. Terry has been in and has seen the Softyak colors. If you haven't been in to see the Softyak colors, and you are local, I will be putting those up on the website. I've been woefully behind with getting yarns on the website. There's just been so much. But anyway, we do have a Rowan trunk show coming up, so look for that. And I'll be having an interview with David McLeod here soon, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, I apologize for all of the technical difficulties today. That was crazy. I hate that when that happens, but sometimes it does, and you just have to go with the flow, right? Anyway, thanks so much for joining me and for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And in the meantime, keep knitting and create something beautiful. Thanks so much. Good night.